Happy Frugal Friday, friends. Welcome back to the channel. I am so glad you are here today with us to go over my kind of monthly thing that I do now here is find an article on frugal living on the internet. I go through it and I see, do I do these things? Do you do these things? Is it something we need to add into our habits, or are we already doing them? Or are we not even interested at all? This article is called 10 Frugal Habits to Live By and 5 you should never do. It comes from the website fabulouslyfrugal.com. I will leave the link to fabulouslyfrugal.com in the description below if you want to see more. Number 1 is get the most out of every dollar. Heck yes, this is a frugal living habit that I definitely participate in. I want every single penny to go where I want it to go. And for those of you that don't know, I actually use an app called everydollar.com that has been life-changing for me. I use the free version. Just type in everydollar.com. That's where I budget. I make sure every dollar has a purpose, has an intention, has a job to do, and goes out there and gets the job done. Number 2 is buy things that last. I think this is an incredibly valuable habit to get into. I feel like where I used to fall short back in the day was clothing. I used to buy this fast fashion pieces that would just fall apart or wouldn't wash well because they were super cheap. And I was like, didn't really take the time to get quality in the past, and have started choosing to purchase things that will last a lot longer so I can get a lot more value out of, and not something I'm just gonna throw away, a month or two later and then have to buy again. No thanks. Number 3 is buy used when it makes sense. I think about this, and I think I've talked about this in the past. I don't buy used very often, but there are some circumstances where I think it would make a lot of sense. One thing I would say I don't buy used, but we accept used, is my friend has a ton of hand-me-down clothes that she's given to Kaden, and we happily use hand-me-downs. So if you can buy something used that's gonna be of the same kind of quality, then I think it's definitely something to look into. But if you're gonna get something used that you saw on the internet that's just gonna crash out real quick, then, be strategic. You don't wanna buy something used that's not gonna be effective in the long term. Number 4 is spend on what matters to you. Yes, spend on what matters to you. If going out to fancy dinners is the thing that really makes you excited, then aim your budget at making sure you have a going out to eat budget. If you really love shoes and shoes are your thing and that's your thing that gets you really excited, then aim your budget at the shoes. If having experiences is what really sparks excitement in you, make sure you're taking your budget and making sure that you are putting the money toward these experiences that you want to have. If vacations are the thing that you live for, you can go on vacations. Put the money toward vacations. No matter what it is that matters to you, put the money in that direction, and then don't waste money where it doesn't matter. That's the key here. You can have what you want, but just don't be wasting it in places that don't matter. Number 5 is stock up. I stock up on things that I know I'm gonna use all the time. Why do I talk about peanut butter in every video? Peanut butter. Skippy peanut butter in my case. I know we're gonna use those for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Sometimes I will just have a scoop of peanut butter. Peanut butter is life around here. I wouldn't mind getting a couple extra jars when they're on sale because we are going to eat it. And there are many other things in our lives that if you see it on sale, I told you in another video, I saw the coffee that I normally get, 3 for $10, which was just like a great deal for me because I do drink coffee all the time. And that is my favorite coffee that I get on the daily, the most affordable, the most delicious. And so if it's something that you're gonna use all the time and you see it on sale, I would definitely stock up. Number 6 is save with a purpose. Heck yes. When I was trying to pay off my car, if you guys don't know that story, I will leave a link down below or maybe up here somewhere for you to check out how when you are saving with a purpose, you are so much more motivated. When I was trying to get this house, it was so much more motivating having my focus goggles on, eyes on the prize. When you are saving with a purpose, it means so much more than if you're just saving because you know you're supposed to save, but you're not exactly sure for what. If you actually have a goal, if you have a thing you're saving for, if it's your 3 to 6 month emergency fund, that's gonna take a lot of stress off you. If it's that vacation you've been really wanting to go on, if it's a house, if it's a car, if it's a gift for someone, whatever it is, when you save with a purpose, you save with intent, and it makes it more exciting and more fun and probably more effective because you really want that thing. Number 7 is meal plan. You guys know I meal plan-ish. I have several of our favorite things that we always want, and I keep that in my kitchen area, fridge, pantry, whatever, so that we don't have to have grilled cheese on Wednesdays. We don't have to have tacos on Tuesday, although pretty much any day I'm into it. Any day, tacos, guacamole, avocado. Oh, yes. Maybe tonight. If you want to know some of my frugal grocery tips, I will leave them down below for you to check that video out. Because it's just me and Kaden, we don't have a set thing we have to eat every single day. Though, I say this all the time, if I had a bigger family, I'd be meal planning the heck out of my week, honestly. But since I just have me and Kaden, we have a few go-to meals and we just eat what we want. Number 8 is start a budget. Woo, yes. Start a budget. If you haven't started a budget yet, I have a whole budgeting playlist to help you get started. I know that starting a budget to some is very intimidating. It's scary. You don't want to do it. And it feels like it's restrictive, but I promise if you can get into a budgeting habit and get one that works for you, it is not restricting in any way. It's permission to spend. And that is how I've felt about it for the last few years. And it has brought me so much peace, so much progress. Budgeting is life around here. Like it's one of my favorite things to do. I love budgeting. I know, who loves budgeting? I love it. I have a whole budgeting playlist. Please just type in Kaden, go to my playlist, look at all the budgeting ones. If you want some inspiration, I've got tons. I'm a huge budgeter, huge believer in it. And anyone that says, I don't need a budget, well, how do your finances look? Do you need a budget? If you're looking to make some progress in your finances, a budget is definitely the way to go, in my own humble opinion. Number 9 is have cheap fun. I'm all about the cheap fun, the things that don't cost a ton. Going to the beach, staying home and watching a movie, going to a playground with your kid. I feel like I just talked about this in another video recently. But I know I have a video on 15 ways to save money during the summer, so I will leave that also here or here. It's a collab I did with my friend Deidre a couple years ago, and it is still relevant. Number 10 is DIY. Woo! If you just watched my video last Friday, this is not my strong suit. We all know. Kate doesn't cook fantastically, and Kate is not a DIY kind of gal. If you are, though, if you can do things yourself, obviously it's gonna save you a ton of money unless you really don't know how to do it and you're gonna mess it up more. So you've gotta find a healthy balance there. But sometimes doing it yourself really can save you a ton of money. But if you really are not sure and there's a chance you're going to make it even worse, then I would hire someone. So this is one that I don't do all the time because, again, it's just not my strong suit. There are some things I do by myself. Oh, well, everything on this channel. I don't have an editor. I don't have somebody filming me. I do literally everything. I don't have somebody responding to comments. That's me. I don't have somebody creating my social media posts. That's me. So I guess I do it myself in some ways. Moving on to the next section, which is 5 things you should never do as a frugal person. Number 1 is spend money you don't have. Man, I can't stress this enough. If you don't have it, what business you got spending it? You know what I'm saying? Besides like a mortgage on a house, where more than likely you don't have a few $100,000 sitting around. That one I think is legit. But spending money on credit cards when you don't already have it to be covered in your checking is just a bad idea all around. And you guys know I'm not anti-credit card. If you can use them responsibly, cool. But if you don't have it in your checking to cover that and you're not going to pay it every month, that's where I think it gets dicey. So don't spend money you don't have. Number 2 is buy things just because they are on sale. If they're on sale and they're a really good deal, but you don't need them, it's not a good deal. You just wasted money on things that you don't care about, but you're like, oh, this was originally $50, it only cost $5. But if you're not going to utilize that thing and it's not actually going to add value to your life, then you just spent $5 on something that is useless. So don't spend money on things that are on sale just because they're on sale, only if you're actually going to use them. Number 3 is make impulse purchases. I've got this one down. Honestly, I don't make impulse purchases anymore. But in the past, you know, it's tempting. Sometimes you're like, ooh, maybe I'll just buy this. If it's not in the budget, I'm not buying it. And also, sometimes it could even be in the budget, but this is just like on a whim. I don't really need it. I usually try to wait it out a little bit and think about it. Do I really want this? Oh, you guys, remember I did a video on like 5 things that I was thinking about purchasing, possibly coming up in the next few months. It took me, besides the computer, that one I made a pretty quick decision, but the other stuff, I let it marinate, I obsessed a little bit, and I didn't just buy it on a whim. And I'm so glad I didn't. I really took the time to decide what's gonna bring us the most value, what's really most appropriate for the budget, and you know, what do I really want? I don't wanna waste money on things that in the end aren't really gonna bring me much value and buy hastily and then regret. Number 4 is waste things. So I think part of my channel is this concept of not wasting whenever appropriate and spending on the things that matter to you most. In the case of minimalism, in the case of frugal living, wasting your time, money, and resources are just what we just said, a waste. Try to minimize that as much as possible. And number 5 is carry long-term credit card debt. No. In my opinion, if you can't pay it off at the end of the month when the bill is due, then you shouldn't get it. Back in my 20s, I think I was up to like $10,000 of credit card debt at one point, and it was stressing me the heck out, people. I hated it. I started making like, say the minimum payment was like $125 or something. I was making like $500 payments when I could. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't wait to pay that off. Don't get yourself in that position. Debt sucks. It really sucks. Unless, again, it's like a mortgage. Don't carry long-term credit card debt. That interest is a killer. Don't let it happen to you. Now is your turn. Please leave in the comments one frugal habit that you live by, and then maybe also leave me what you never do as a frugal person. If you want more about things that frugal people rarely or never do, I will leave a video for you here for you to watch next. It's one of my favorite topics. If you like this kind of content, please hit subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified each time I upload, and don't forget to hit that like button. It helps get this kind of content to other people that are interested in frugal living, and we can build our community. Have a great day, everyone. I will see you in the next video. Bye.